The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of WTJX, its board, staff, or underwriters.
Welcome to another episode of Recovery in Focus. I'm Adrienne Williams-Octolin. Since the start of this program in 2020, our goal has been to provide the community with comprehensive and real-time updates about the various projects that signify the territory's recovery from the disastrous storms of 2017. We've seen progress on many different fronts, including the completion of undergrounding projects on St. Croix, obligations for both the Wang F. Louis and Roy Lester Schneider hospitals, the start of the construction of the new Arthur Richards pre-K through 8 school, the completion of multiple road projects, as well as FEMA's most recent approval for a reduction in the match costs, which you will hear more about soon. But in this episode, we will circle back with the Department of Sports, Parks, and Recreation since the agency's last appearance in late 2021 to get an update from the Commissioner himself about what projects have been finished to date and what initiatives the department has left to complete. But first, here's the most recent news on recovery projects and initiatives across the territory.
From the WTJX studio on St. Croix, I'm Larissa Ellis. The territory is poised to receive over $1 billion in match funding, thanks to approvals from President Biden and FEMA to reduce the territory's cost share for public assistance projects. At a press conference on February 9th, Office of Disaster Recovery Director Adrienne L. Williams-Octolin explained.
It is a phenomenal opportunity for us. We've been working hard on this for many years, and as the governor said, this is a precedent-setting opportunity that was provided to us by FEMA. This has not been done anywhere else in the history of FEMA for us to be able to get our 428 projects, which are our fixed grant projects, obligated at 98%, and also our public assistance, our 406 projects, obligated at 95%, addressing the issues for the match.
Governor Albert Bryan Jr. expressed his thanks to President Biden and his administration, as well as FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell and her team, and Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett for their support and partnership. The Department of Sports, Parks, and Recreation celebrated the completion of 2 projects on St. John on February 9th. Commissioner Calvert White tells us more.
The newly renovated Pine Piece basketball court and the Cruise Bay tennis courts stand not only of physical spaces, but symbols of unity, resilience, and the power of collective action.
Governor Albert Bryan Jr., senators, cabinet members, and the St. John community attended the celebratory events, participating in and observing various activities. Business owners and patrons of the downtown Christiansted area are finally seeing much-needed preliminary road repairs after an $8 million project to replace decades-old cast iron sewer lines to industry-standard PVC lines caused significant traffic disruptions and road damage. The EPA-funded project is just over 60% complete and is expected to reduce sewage overflows and backups in the high-traffic area. We spoke to Ronald Phillip, Senior Project Engineer at the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority, to get an update.
So far, Marco has installed 22,000 linear feet of sewer pipe and laid down approximately 15,000 feet of asphalt. The project started on May 15th, and after the sewer lines are installed, the second phase of the project is the manhole rehabilitation, where all the manholes are going to be power washed clean, and they're going to be coated with an epoxy so that the sewer gas will not affect the concrete.
The project will continue into the summer of 2025. Simultaneously, the Virgin Islands Department of Public Works will start its $1 million DOI-funded project for permanent road repairs to designated Christiansted roadways by spring 2024. A $5.3 million grant to standardize street addresses territory-wide will be taking its first steps towards implementation with the installation of highway signage. Chris George, GIS Administrator and Project Manager for the initiative, spearheaded by the Lieutenant Governor's Office, gives us the details.
The Street Addressing Initiative is a territory-wide project that will be establishing a nationally standardized address system across the territory, and this will be placed on all major islands of the territory, including Water Island. One of the major aspects of the Street Addressing Initiative will be street signs for all the named signs in the territory during the duration of the project. We are currently here in historic Charles de Mali, the historic district of downtown St. Thomas, and we are on Hospital Gata. So this is one of the main arteries in historic Charles de Mali, and we'll be putting up street name signs across the territory, including the highway signs. So the highway signs will be large backlit signs that will be very visible and very beautiful at night to see.
Once completed, the CDBG-DR funded project will provide residents with a variety of benefits, including aiding and improving emergency 911 services, uniformed road signage, routing for postal services like USPS and FedEx, and the efficient delivery of goods and services in the event of a disaster. The Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority is accepting project applications for its CDBG-DR MIT program. In January, the agency kicked off the program's rollout with town hall meetings in both districts to explain how the $774 million HUD grant can be utilized for mitigation projects and to encourage interested applicants with project proposals that focus on mitigating risks and enhancing resilience to call or visit them online for information on who can apply and how. VIHFA will continue to support the community with details on eligibility and application deadlines through a series of in-person and virtual technical assistance workshops, the first of which will be held via Zoom on February 28th, with additional dates to follow throughout March. To stay up to date with the status of these funds and applicable deadlines, visit www.vihfa.gov, then click on Mitigation. In other VIHFA news, Interim Executive Director and Chief Disaster Recovery Officer Dana Clendenin welcomed HUD Deputy Assistant Secretary for Grant Programs, Claudia Monterosa, the week of February 11th for a 3-day visit to the territory to review critical updates and see projects. While in St. Croix, Ms. Monterosa and her team visited one of 29 completed Envision homes, assessed the location and needs for the new Sister Emma's Cottage at Queen Louise Home for Children, and saw firsthand the Housing Authority's ongoing efforts to fully revitalize the Walter I. M. Hodge Pavilion. Meetings between HUD, VIHFA, and ODR were also held to examine program achievements, upcoming projects, and grant opportunities. The territory looks forward to the next visit and other opportunities to discuss the progress of program initiatives and their impact on our community. DPW is on the move, completing yet another $1 million recovery project. Jermaine McLean, District Engineer at the Virgin Islands Department of Public Works, tells us all about it.
The FEMA Public Assistance Water Island Road Repair Project is completed. Repair work was performed at 5 site locations, which were the parking lot adjacent to the Water Island dock, Providence Hill, Flamingo Road, Overdown Road, Main Road, and Honeymoon Beach Lane. The repair work encompassed asphalt overlay, concrete pavement installation, rock line drainage swales, and culvert cleaning.
The $2.8 million project was completed by Grace Civil LLC in the fall of 2023. Housing and infrastructure projects are not the only sectors making the news. Construction of the territory's first school in decades, the Arthur Richards Pre-K to 8 school, is also making steady progress since our last update in September. The Virgin Islands Department of Education's contractor MCN Build is nearing the 30% completion mark, steering the course for closeout in the fall of 2026. Utility undergrounding, including storm drainage, water lines, fire sprinkler, and fire water main lines, are in progress, as well as the foundation for the Commons building. Business owners, contractors, and consultants interested in doing business with the recovery should visit the ODR website for an updated list of open bid announcements and detailed information. This month, the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority is soliciting bids for qualified contractors to complete repairs to sewer sheds in Frederiksted and Mumbiju on St. Croix. To view these and other open bid announcements, as well as up-to-date news on all disaster recovery projects in the territory, log on to www.usviodr.com.
Oh, thanks for that update, Larissa. It's our pleasure to welcome back to the Recovery in Focus the Honorable Calvert White, Commissioner of the Virgin Islands Department of Sports, Parks, and Recreation. Commissioner White, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You know, well, we have a whole lot to talk about. You have a lot of projects, so we're going to get right into it. I'm going to start off with some of your completed projects because you have quite a few, about 23 that you've completed territory-wide. You know, let's talk about, first you did the Williams Delight Community Center, La Valley Park, Kramer's Park, Doris Hodge. So which ones of these brings you the most satisfaction?
Well, all of our projects are pretty significant to the community, but we was able to get some small wins early on in the recovery process. We didn't have the big facilities that you hear people talking about every day, but nevertheless, these facilities are used by the community. So as you stated, Williams Delight, there's a community right there that they use that center for different things in the community, parties, meetings. So it was good to get that facility back out. Kramer's Park, of course, we know it's a big facility with camping and people using the beach. So those are facilities that we got done early on, and we're happy to give them back to the people.
Sure. And on St. Thomas, Doris Hodge tennis courts,
Yeah.
the community utilize that for tennis. I'm sure they missed it.
That facility is one of the most tennis courts in the territory. We get a lot of camps being done there, both young and old. So we was able to do the courts, surface them, got the lights up, did some work on the bleachers, and was able to turn it back over to the community.
All right. And then Frederiksted Waterfront now, I look out from my office and I can see, I tell the contractor, I can tell when your employees are working and when they're not. But you've been doing a lot for the waterfront and Strand Street and all the way over to Marley. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I tell people, St. Croix Waterfront has one of the most beautiful views anywhere.
Anywhere?
I'll give you that. Anywhere. I definitely enjoy looking out there. But that project was not just important as one of the projects to go back out to the facility, but safety is always going to be top priority for the department. And the lighting project ensure that individuals that traverse through the Frederiksted town would be able to get some type of lighting in that facility. We have had in some past some unfortunate incidents. So I was happy to get that project now done and completed where people can feel more safe down there.
Yes, and the aesthetics as well. You replaced the chains as well, the chain link along the waterfront as well.
Yeah, so that's where our cruise ships are coming in. We have tourists coming in, I guess, and not just for the tourists, but for our own community. It feels good to get down there looking back good again.
Word. And as we heard in the news portion of our show, your team also hosted the first ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah.
And we're not going to tell them about the running joke that we have, but I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
And I saw the response of the community itself to bringing those two tennis court and the basketball courts back online.
Well, you hear the good old saying, you always remember your first.
Yes.
So this is the same. But what makes those courts so significant is St. Thomas and St. Croix, those are the only facilities, the public facilities in St. John. So there's only one public tennis court, there's only one public basketball court. So it was that much more important for us to get those facilities up because that is the facility that the community uses on St. John.
Yeah, well, you had pickleball.
Yeah.
Maybe you got the governor out there learning a little bit about pickleball and,
I want to thank the contractor because they did an excellent job. We got the courts resurfaced. We got brand new fencing. The governor was able to, and I thought I was going to lose my job because we had a little shootout where he missed and I was able to make my shot. But also I got to thank my staff because they did an awesome job of chipping in and doing some in-kind stuff to the facility. They got the wood donated to the department. where they was able to go and fix the bleachers at the tennis courts.
Oh, wow. Yes, it takes a community. So kudos to you and your team for putting together a really nice event. It truly reflects the heart of DSPR, like you said. It matters when you go it's okay to spend the government funds, but if you're gonna go in your pocket to assist, then you know the heart is really there. We caught up with a couple of the residents who shared our sentiments, and they had a lot of great things to say about your team. Take a listen.
No questions, but I would like to commend all of the hard work that agency has done. The Midget Cummings Park in Frederickstead is absolutely beautiful. As a mom, it's great to have somewhere to carry my children to go to. Also, I saw that they started renovations on the WIM playground, which is amazing. So, great job.
The upgrades I would like to see throughout the island to the parks would be lights on after a certain time, upgraded equipment, and also if we could have sports gear, like more balls, not just basketball, tennis balls, all of the courts that are there, if they have equipment to be used.
All right, well, she gave you a mandate, said not just a ball for every court, okay? All right. Your work isn't done yet. The SPR has about 13 projects in construction and 11 left to start, of which 4 are on St. Thomas alone. So we caught up with your St. John District Administrator, Kirk Thomas, at the Alvin McBean Sports Complex for an update.
Right now, the contractors are actually working on the building, the inside part of the building. They're doing some repairs on the paddleball court that will smooth off the walls so we can actually have paddleball once again. The lighting system here on the ball field is what really was one of the affected areas from the storm. The backstop has to be redone, the lighting system put in place. This has hampered activities like the Little League organization being able to actually play games out here during the evening.
I know that is challenging and you've been working on getting the lights, but there's some benefits though, because you're not just putting back the same lights that were there.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot more than that.
No, we're building bigger and stronger. We don't just want to put these facilities back to what they were pre-storm. We're doing a lot of mitigation where we're trying to upgrade the facility. I heard the one young lady talked about, having the facilities lights on. So that's one of the new great things that we're going to be able to do. We was able to get approval from FEMA to upgrade our lights from the hydro-sodium lights to LED lights.
Yes.
And we're outfitting majority of our facilities under the SPR with the new LED system. Not just that you're going to be able to now see a cost savings. You're going to get a brighter lighting system at the facilities. We're going to be able to put those systems on timers where even if a staff is not there, we can have the facilities on and turn them off via your phone. So that's a great thing with technology.
This light so that when the umpire call a strike and it was actually a ball, make
no
more
more
noise.
excuses.
No more, I can make more noise in the stands. I hear that. Okay. Well, the Kerwin Terrace Ballpark is also under construction. And your whole team is out there, and we spoke with Assistant Commissioner Vincent Roberts about the status of that project. Take a look.
The Calvert Terrace Ballpark plays a vital role to the western end of the island, more so the Calvert Terrace housing community and the Lingout area community, hosting movie nights, hosting. This is where the kids play on a regular basis, as well as other Little League teams practice here as well. When completed, the lighting system will be upgraded to LED, a brand new scoreboard, some upgrades to the infield, new perimeter fencing. So hopefully the department could get this done within the next, with the spring this year. And we could get everybody back out to the ballpark, especially in the night.
So, Commissioner, we're looking at this work started in February of this year, and somewhere around April of 2024, the project is estimated to be completed.
Yeah, we are very close to getting another ribbon cutting ceremony at the Calvert Terrace Ball Field. As my Assistant Commissioner stated, brand new fencing, new LED lights, scoreboards, some work done on the bleachers. But this facility is important because it sits on the western end of the island. So this is the facility that a lot of the people in that Calvert Terrace area, Bordeaux, utilize. So it just helps for us to do more programs, more activities for the people of the community.
Absolutely. So it was like $641,000
Yes.
that was obligated from FEMA going towards good work on the western side of St. Thomas. Before we move over to St. Croix, though, DSPR has some other few projects in progress on St. Thomas. We have the Emile Griffith Ballpark. That's your hallmark, but your headache. Yeah, can we say it like that?
You know, we have a saying where we call that kind of like the mecca of our facilities.
Right.
Emile Griffith Park on any given day, Monday through Sunday, has some type of activity on it. And I'm talking from baseball, soccer, football, you name the sport, it's playing there. We have a basketball court attached to it as long as with a playground. So that is probably one of the most important facilities under our purview. We've had some issues, but you know, none of these projects are easy, but we're working together between, you know, the team at ODR, the team at Sports Parks and Recreation and DPW to see that this project gets to the end.
Right, so you've been able to revamp a lot of what was there on this project.
Yeah, this is one of the projects that are getting a real overhaul. You know, I'll start with the bleachers. We had aluminum bleachers pre-storm. We're changing it to a kind of a concrete-based individual seated bleachers. Above the concession, something new, we're going to be able to move our office from outside and outfield to now around the facility. What this is going to do, again, safety is always our number one priority, is it's going to bring the employees closer in contact with the people that use our facility. So now they'll be able to sit in our office and still view. Hopefully they sit in the office too long, but still view what's going on in the facility. Again, like all over the facilities, we're going to be having brand new LED lights, new scoreboard. We also got a brand new score box built at that facility.
Was it always 2 stories?
It was always 2 stories. And then important also is that the restroom facility, because that facility is used so much, we was able to expand it, upgrade it to have ADA restrooms.
That's right.
Where now we're going to have to get people, you know, that needs that assistance to use.
Absolutely, you know, with the opportunity to enhance. So you started back in August. We understand the project is somewhere to be completed the end of, we're going to go on record saying when we believe we're going to be finished with Emile Griffith?
Yeah, I think that project could be completed this year. I'm confident. I mean, like I said, we have some issues, but we're working between the contractor and DPW. One of the most difficult things at that facility is the lighting project because of how close proximity is to the water.
Right.
Once we started to dig and we did some earth studies, we saw that pretty close down when we started drilling, we was already seeing water in that facility. Once we could figure that out, and that's the hard part right now, I think we'll be able to complete this project.
Sure. And then the other, Lionel Roberts Stadium, also you had some work being done there.
Yeah, we had some work done very early on to the bleachers and the facility. Again, we're waiting for the lights to come in for that facility so that we can put those up. There is some talks, and I have to have some conversations with the governor of what the ultimate decision is going to be for Lionel Roberts Stadium. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to do the work that we was awarded to do and get it back up to the community.
All right, sounds good. Joseph Bain Ballpark, though, that's another highly used facility on St. Thomas, and you're almost there.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about.
You know, I would have hoped to have some type of plan where I did certain facilities first, and once they was completed, then I could switch over. But when you're dealing with these projects, it don't work out that way. Joseph Bain, you know, we got some assistance from one of the hotels very on. They was able to help us out with some of the fencing and scoreboard. Company that came in, the contractor, did the lighting, did some fence work. But we realized that we had to get the bleachers manufactured. So that is the last thing that we're waiting for right now. As soon as those bleachers get in, we're going to have the contractor try to get that done so that we can also do a ribbon cutting. I would say the bleachers is the last thing for that facility, 95% completed. Once you get that installed, we're going to close that.
It's your year. It's absolutely your year.
Yeah,
We're going to get all these parks back
yeah.
online.
It's been a long, long road, and there's been a lot of people that has been involved with the department, other outside agencies, individuals that's been helping to get us to this point. And you know, I also got to thank the community for, you know, just having patience with us. because there is a lot of red tape and a lot of ins and outs that gets us to this point
Yes.
to where we can cut the ribbon and say, here you go, take the facility back.
That's right. You know, speaking of long-awaited projects, your department is actually the department on record for Polly Joseph Stadium.
Yeah.
I know you recently took a tour. There's some progress going on there. You know, tell us about where we are and how you see us progressing.
I was very encouraged with my last visit. The lights have already gone up in that facility. They have the new LED lights. The concrete base for the bleachers are starting to go in. You can actually see the facility starting to take shape now as a baseball field. The contractor has already cleared out where the Little League field is going to be going to Terrence Martin. So I'm still confident. You know, I've put my foot in my mouth very early on and tell people that I am going to be the commissioner to cut the ribbon for Polly Joseph.
You will be.
And I'm very confident with that. I got to thank DPW and the work that they have been doing to ensure that this project move forward and assisting the Department of Sports, Parks and Recreation.
Sure, you know, the new Polly Joseph Stadium is critical and been waiting for a long time, and we took some time to get a quick update also from DPW, one of your partners. Very busy Chief Engineer Tawana Nicholas, and here's what she had to say.
We're here at the Polly Joseph Stadium Sports Complex, and our contractor is GEC. Recently, the thread and risers for our right field bleachers have been completed. Also completed are the stairs to the upper concourse and the elevator shaft. Currently, GEC is working on plastering the walls for the entryway pavilion area and the plumbing for the field level and upper level restrooms. Our next steps are working on the outfield lights and plastering the interior walls for the restrooms and locker rooms.
So there's a lot that's going in there, but you know, like you said, it's taking shape, and we will definitely keep you, the community, up to date on what's going on with this project. So far on the Big Island, your agency has completed 11 projects and you have 9 in progress. And I know residents on the west end of the island are excited to see the progress of what I call Wimball Park, properly known as Renhall Jackson Complex. And we got a chance to talk to Youth Coordinator Carita Stevens-Gums. So take a listen.
From pre-K right down to seniors, whether it's baseball, softball, basketball, kickball, whatever sports you can think of, we do it here at WIM. We here are looking forward for hopefully the work to be completed by summer of 2024. We would like to continue our annual sports summer camp. We know that the community is looking forward for this as well, so they could get back to playing ball.
So I gotta tell you, no, that's my stomping ground. Okay, we play ball in Wimball Park, and in the night, Wimball Park, you didn't even have to go to the games. You just used to go for the Johnny cake and the chicken leg and the Lily game. So we are looking forward to getting Renhall Jackson Ballpark back up and running.
Well, you know, baseball games always had some of the best wings. From when I used to, well, I know I just stay away from the dough and the flour and all.
You didn't eat Johnny cake when you were growing up?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it used to come out fast, but
okay.
You know, like Corwin Terrace, WIM or Renhall Jackson Bar Field is situated in the western end of the island. So that facility used to house a lot of the kids that would play Little League, Elmo Plaskett West. Since it's been down, a lot of those families have had to move east, which is an inconvenience. So I really want to get this facility back out so that we could now revamp our Elmo Plastic West and get the children and back at that facility. Contractor has done some great work there. A lot of new fencing, beautiful. They was able to construct the new batting cages, as you saw in the picture. A new playground, a new state-of-the-art playground with some rubber mulch. That is going to be able to, you know, cater to the younger people traversing through the facility, new scoreboard, and we already have the new LED lights sitting at that facility waiting to be installed.
Well, it sounds excellent. And you'll have the young lady said you need to make sure for every court you have balls for all of your court.
Yeah, no, great suggestions. If we're gonna have the facilities back open,
You got to
we
have
gotta
them.
provide them balls for them to
Have the
use.
balls.
Yeah.
Your contractor is custom builders on this project.
Correct.
And it's like about $1 million, right?
Yes.
And so you're almost there.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Another facility that where I could see the light to the end of the tunnel, but I ain't reached there yet. But this my year.
It's your year. I mean, I'm claiming it with you.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to WIM, your agency is also tracking the restoration of the Vincent Mason pool. You know, our office gets regular emails, calls, inquiries. I have a young man that comes up to the office and he said he wants to speak to, he knows me from before. He said, I want to speak to Adrian Williams. I need to find out the status of the pool. I need to know the status of the pool. So, you know, it's in high demand. I was told that one of our federal agencies wanted to understand, well, why is this a priority project? So can you answer this for us? Why is the Vincent Mason Pool a priority project for us?
So before I go there, let me give you the significance of my two top priorities. Obviously the Polly Joseph, because of how long this project has been trying to finish, is one of them. And the second one would probably be the Vincent Mason Pool. The history of people using this facility, families going there, the significance of what that pool did for families is why it's so important. You know, people might say, well, it's just a pool, but we know that some of the best parties were held down there, some of the best picnics.
People like me learned to swim at the pool?
Yeah, you know, we had lifeguard stations at that facility, and that's where our swim program was executed. So, you know, I had a groundbreaking ceremony, you know, some time back. We had some issues when we started digging with the pool. But I think now we have figured it out. We did award it to a new contractor.
But I think you're going out, you know, I need you to really explain to the public what really transpired, because you know that, yes, you had a groundbreaking and there were some issues that you now had to get the last contractor off of the job and put it back out to bid again, and then select a contractor, the scoping, identify the work that was done before, what was not done, negotiate with the contractors. It was a lot of work in between getting it back to where we at.
The irony is the two projects that I think are my two top kind of had the same issues. Like I said, when the contractor started digging, we realized that the pool sat on piles. If you know anything about Polly Joseph Stadium, we had to put piles under that stadium to stop it from sinking. Same thing with the Vincent Mason Pool. The project moved from, I think it was like a $2.3 million project to over $5 million. Keep in mind, these are federal projects, so you have to get bonding for these projects. Unfortunately, the previous contractor was not able to get the bonding for the new cost estimate.
Right.
So we did have to go and put it back out for a new company to come in and complete and finish the work.
Right. So we're on track now. So we're expecting some good things and getting that project back into construction so you can get it completed.
Yeah, I've already told the governor that if I could get Polly Joseph and Vincent Mason done, I will be turning in a 2-month vacation leave.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the other parts are going to get jealous.
That's how big and significant these two is. And again, I'm confident that we are going to be able to do it together with all the agencies that are involved in these projects. But it's looking, you know, positive. I'm looking for the start date and the notice to proceed for the new contractor so that we could start back work at the Vincent Mason Pool.
All right, sounds great. You know, next up on the list is the DC Canigata Ballpark in Christiansted. And our team got an update from the park's progress from Jerry and James. Let's take a listen.
What was affected from the needed repairs being done here at DC Canigata was the youth athletics, Little League, leagues, tournaments, adults, male and females, baseball and softball. What is happening right now in the repairs at DC Canigata is fencing. They're repairing the fencing. Also, the dugouts will be repaired. Hopefully, the completion will be by April of 2024. The community can expect when all our repairs are finished is a refurbished facility for all to enjoy.
So you know that the Canigata Ballpark is the big park for the east side.
Yeah.
And you know, so there's this repairs that you're doing now, but I know you have other segments of this project. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like you stated, it is the facility that has a lot of activities done on the eastern end of the island. And not just for sports. I mean, when I think about the recreation center, that's one of the most highly sought after facilities in St. Croix. We're talking about weddings, funerals, dances, you
Exercise,
name
you
it,
name it.
it's done it. So, we was fortunate that FEMA did give us some extra monies to harden that structure. Again, we are not just building facilities back to what they were. We're building them bigger and stronger than they was before. So we are hardening that facility. Keep in mind, it's also used as a shelter during any disaster. So we're talking about upgrades to the showers, to the roof. And one of the cool things is FEMA awarded us some extra funds to purchase a generator for that facility. So now we'll have power there.
So if WAPA turn on the power, the jam
we
don't
good.
stop? Okay.
We're good. But as you see, the contractor started to take down some of the dugouts. Brand new fencing is going to be at that facility. Brand new LED lights. One thing I do want to point out that I was fortunate to get a grant from the governor to buy some brand new playground equipment. So about 10 facilities territory-wide are going to see brand new playground at a separate grant that we're going to be able to do some additional work to these facilities.
So you remember them off? Give me a couple of them off the top of your head.
On St. Croix, DC Canigata is one. Cyan Farm is one of Rudy Krieger.
Rudy Krieger. I won't put you on the spot.
Yeah. It'll come back to me in a little bit.
Yes. All right. Well, parks play such an integral role in the community, especially ours, and we couldn't close this St. Croix segment without talking about the largest and longest running Little Leagues in the territory, the Elmo Plastic Little League. And we spoke with Dennis Lynch about the league's new home at the Rudy Krieger Ballpark, Cyan Farm Ballpark, and the effort your department is making to provide a safe place for the future major leaguers. So let's take a listen.
Department of Sports, Park and Recreation, however, are doing everything in their power to make sure that we have the manageable resources to continue Little League baseball here in the island of St. Croix. Right now, I know that Commissioner Calvert White, in conjunction with the Water and Power Authority, are now making new provisions to place electric poles, to have a scoreboard, and also have a different amperage rating for the lighting to alleviate the other issues that we have witnessed in the past when we have softball tournaments or even 9 to 12 tournaments here. As we do progression throughout the community, it's only necessary and important that our facilities as well step up in terms of what we're able to offer not only adults, but the children of the Virgin Islands. My hope is to see that we have state-of-the-art bar fields that could accommodate in the vision that we have for the children of the Virgin Islands. Once again, the Department of Sports, Park and Recreation has been awesome in facilitating different arenas for us to continue Little League Baseball in St. Croix.
How much did you pay him?
I don't know, but I want him to speak about all of my projects going forward.
He talked about making sure you have state-of-the-art. Yeah. So a lot of the damages that you've had repairing from FEMA has been fencing and lighting. But I know that you're doing a whole lot more. What's your vision? Where would you like to see your parks?
Yeah, so sports tourism is a big thing in the community right now. It is one of the governor's vision to make the Virgin Islands one of the premier Caribbean spots when we're talking about sporting events. But to do that, we have to have facilities that are going to lure these events to the territory. So things like the lights. Again, it may seem like a small thing, but the old lighting system, when you turn them off, it took about 20 minutes before they came back on.
That's it, the game hall.
To wait 20 minutes for a game to start back, you know what they will do. Just LED systems, they go off, you turn them back on, they're back on. And that system, like I said, I could control from my cell phone. But just having facilities that would accommodate teams, whether it's from other Caribbean islands or from the mainland, to come down here, and we have the amenities, the locker rooms, the dugouts, the bleacher seating, the concessions. Those are things that we can sell the territory on to get some of those events to come here.
So, the design and what you've been doing for Polly Joseph, accommodate some of that, right?
Could dominate all of it. Joseph is going to be a state-of-the-art facilities. We have the locker rooms and the dressing rooms. We have the rooms to store the equipment. We have the LED lights. We have the regulated distances, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teams, when they're traveling, they want 300 feet and more to the facility. There's no facilities. Poly Joseph is going to be more than 300 feet. So we'll be able to get a lot of those tournaments that do destination travels. We'll be able to secure some of those.
Sure. So, I know that in addition, you talked about all the different courts.
Mm-hmm.
And at the Rudy Krieger facility,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing Little League as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have plans to resurface the basketball courts out there.
Yeah, and I will be the first to say that those should have been done before. And I take responsibility for that. But we are going to be able to get those finished and completed. Again, those courts are heavily used by the community. The basketball court, you have 2 paddleball courts, and then you have 2 tennis courts. So once we could get that done, that facility is going to be completed. That's the last thing that we have to do to do a ribbon cutting there. WAPA is assisting us with some transferring of some lines for the new electricity. But we are about 90% completed at that facility.
So another one in our crosshairs to hit as completed. People don't realize that DSPR is not only responsible for parks, but all these community centers. That's where you have to go if you want to use a community center. And you have 2 community center projects on the books, one on St. Croix in Estate Prophet and one on St. John. So tell us where you are with these highly anticipated community centers.
Well, I'll start on.
Start with Prophet.
I'll start with Estate Prophet. In the past, they also was being used as I think it was a youth program from Human Services. Daycare was a daycare. We went to FEMA and again, we asked them to harden that structure. A lot of the old structure wasn't to code. So we got a lot of A&E work, architectural and engineer work done to strengthen the roof. Strengthen the building, strengthen our. So we are just waiting for those to come back now to be approved so that we can put the scope out to bid for potential contractors to do the work.
Okay, and then we also have St. John Community Center.
Yeah, we've been working really hard on that. Again, it's in the A&E phase. And I gotta thank Hazard Mitigation for the work that they've been doing with us, trying to help us get some extra funds. But again, St. John is kind of unique because most of their facilities are going to be the only of its kind on St. John. There's one recreation center on St. John right now, which is Sports Parks and Recreation. So we want to be able to get them something nice, upgraded, state-of-the-art, where they can, now have a facility that they could be very proud of.
So you've had monies from many different resources. That some regular CDBG dollars, is it Love City Strong, or some the long-term recovery organization, I think that's the right term, on St. John, has been also very interested in doing that. So what type of partnerships do you have? And not only on St. John, but anywhere else that helps you to maintain your
very early on, Love City Strong came aboard and they was very vested into the community. These projects takes money. They take money. And sometimes you get, all the money from FEMA and sometimes you don't.
Right.
Some of these facilities, I did not receive 100% of the funding. So then it do take a collaboration or partnership with nonprofits or the community to assist us. And Love City Strong has been very integral in helping us with not just the recreation center. You also have the facility on the beach, and it's escaping my mind right now, but I know you're going to help me. Oh my God, it's going to come back to me.
Okay.
But we do a great job of listening to the community and seeing where we can do partnerships where they can help us get some of these facilities fixed.
So the Department of Education also, after-school programs, what kind of opportunities do you have with education to partner and provide some of those resources for the community?
Yeah, so, I work very, very good with the Department of Education. As a matter of fact, a lot of our programs, they deal with them while in school, and then when they get out of school, we say, okay, come on, it's our time to take care of them. So Commissioner Wells, like I said, she's a big advocate of sports and recreation. So anytime we call them, they're willing to assist. But we got a big boost also from the national park because after the hurricane, we had to give up Winston Wells Ballpark to put some modulars on it for the Department of Education, and we was able to form an MOU with the national park where they gave us permission to utilize their facility. So now we manage the park in the national park in Coos Bay.
All right, you got a couple of big projects that are highly anticipated. I know that you started off on Kramer's Park. Kramer's Park Pavilion is one of those other projects that you have 3 different projects all on that one particular site. So tell us about where we are and where we're going next.
So first, I think this is going to be the first time in my life I've ever went camping. I'm going to make sure when this facility open, I'm going to go camping. I gotta make sure I get a tent where I could zip up strong because with the snake them that I seen, I gotta make sure I good.
Really?
But
you take the snakes in the
yeah,
sand?
the snake. Yeah, I ain't taking no chance. But Kramer's Park is another one of those significant facilities that brings our families together. People go out there to the beach. They go out there to do picnics. You see a lot of different organizations doing stuff out there. It's another facility that, again, we didn't just want to fix and build back as it was. We wanted to do stronger. And if you look at the pavilions that are there now, they are beautiful.
Yes,
I really have to thank the contractor, DVD, for the work that they did at the pavilions at Kramer's Park. We got some ADA parking spots. We've got some fencing around the facility, new picnic tables, barbecue stands. So that's just the first phase that we're dealing with right now. We do have the concession, which is another project that we're going to do. We did receive some $1.3, I think $1.6 million to do the concession at Kramer's Park. So we're looking forward to getting that project started and upgrading that facility farther than it is right now.
All right, well, you can take us home with the 2 racetrack.
Yeah.
Clinton Phipps, Randolph, Doc James. They were originally FEMA-funded projects that you have now taken the opportunity as for 28 projects to look at other ways. But give the people an update. In addition to Emil Griffith, Vincent Mason Poole, you are the head horse racing man in the Virgin Islands. So tell us where these parks, the racetracks are.
So, we receive, and if you put them together, some $6 million for both racetracks. I think it's 3.2 Clinton Phipps and another 3.6 on the Randall Doc James. Very early on, we was fortunate that we had a private investor that was going to or agreed to take over the facilities and was going to renovate both facilities. Because of some legal issues that fell through, where both tracks were separated. We did have one company decided that they was going to do St. Croix, and then we have another private company that came in and said that they was going to do St. Thomas. So fortunately, because it was a 428 project, those funds are still there to either upgrade those facilities further, or I have the chance to put in a request to ask FEMA to transfer those monies to help upgrade another facilities, which has not been done yet. But since we're on horse race, we do have some big news that's coming soon.
So you're not gonna give me a sneak peek?
We're not gonna do that here.
I thought you were coming on the show to give me this.
I will say, for horse enthusiasts, territory-wide, and just don't want to just say one island, that I think in the very near future, we could see horse racing in the territory.
All right, well, you heard it here. Almost launched, and on Recovery in Focus, that Commissioner White will have and probably the governor as well. They're going, both of you, going to have a big news about horse racing back in the territory. But we're always very happy to understand the progress, the challenges, but most of all the accomplishments that you've had to date. You had over like 53
Correct.
projects territory-wide, in addition to your regular day job. So, you know, we've claimed 2024 to be your year. Lots of ribbon cuttings that we want to come to, and we want you to have, you know, apple cider, maybe some snacks.
Water.
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 Well, make sure you have a ball for every court, okay? At least that. And I need you to go back and find the footage, because I made a shot in St. John as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and I
don't remember that.
Yeah, I know. You would say something like that.
I don't even remember you taking a shot.
Yeah. You would say something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But I do want to say that, you know, it is good to get to this point where we're seeing these facilities get to the end, get to completion. This is not a one-man team. It'll never be a one-man team. There's been a lot of people that has helped the department get to this point. And I'm really, really appreciating and grateful for all who have put a hand into not just getting our first ribbon cutting, but to get the other 10 that we probably gonna get this year.
All right, 10, you heard it here. But if you know, before we close out, I want to thank the viewers who continue to reach out to us on social media after the show. Not only are we seeing questions come in on Facebook, but we've been getting some traffic to our info box at usviodr.com. One of the latest questions was, what is the status of the Wind Museum restoration project? Well, the answer is coming up soon, right after these messages. No, the scope of work has actually been developed for the project, and the St. Croix Landmark Society is working on getting some additional funding for FEMA, because the amount that was originally funded is not enough for the repairs that need to happen. The Landmark Society is working with a A&E firm to get those drawings done and put that work out to bid. So, you know, that project is moving forward through the steps, but definitely there's work being done, and we'll keep you updated once we see those solicitations out, of course, in our procurements that are available throughout the recovery. You know, I really want to thank you, Commissioner White, for being a part of our show today. We have a lot that's been going on. So, you know, I just want you to take a moment and just share overall your vision for the department. You know, when we talk, I will look back and talk about the time when Commissioner White was commissioner. You know, what would they say? You know, what do you want them to say about the time when Commissioner White was here?
Most of them will say he ain't no sense in the head, you know, but
he ain't no sense,
that's
right?
what most of them say. But for the few that you know knows where my heart is and why I go so hard for these projects. Again, I'm a product of recreation. I grew up in these same programs. I went to Parks and Recreation summer camps. You know, I you know the song, you know, started from the bottom now. Yeah, I really started from the bottom. I was one of those individuals that, you know, was a recreation leader and worked my way up the ladder. So for me, this isn't just a job. I'm very vested in getting these facilities up, getting them more improved, getting them better. Because with facilities, you know, we can help the next generation of, you know, the next Tim Duncan or Leah Boston, or Midre Cumming. Whatever sport it is, you know, they can achieve it, but you have to have the facilities where they can practice and play at. So for me, and I don't really look at legacies, but I want people to say, you know, Commissioner White was able to get these facilities back up and running for us to utilize. That's it.
You really want to be able to get them. So if I take them, let's take, just recap and let's talk about what's on the horizon. So we're getting, I'm gonna go from west to east because I'm a West Gill, okay? So we're getting Vincent Mason Pool out and work being done.
Yeah, notice to proceed, that's the next thing for us to do. Notice to proceed so that we could start seeing work being done.
Started seeing work, okay. And then Polly Joseph, you're pushing that. We're going to keep pushing that through.
Yeah.
Probably early next year, late this year. What do you think?
Yeah, with each project, whether it's material and whatnot, I'm going to go on a limb and say late this year, early next year,
Okay.
for us to see that project. Yeah.
All right, and then the people in Prophet community have been asking me about their community center.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I put a plug in there for mi gente in Machuchal, okay?
Yeah,
All right.
I speak to those individuals a lot. We just got the scoreboard in Prophet. I didn't even mention that. The new scoreboard was placed up there. Electricity is on. The board is lighting up. So we just got to finish putting up the LED lights there for the field section of that project to be finished. And then move on up to the top where we could start the community center.
All right, and you still have work with closing out Renhall Jackson over in Frederickstead.
We were waiting for some approvals from FEMA. The last two things for that facility is the LED lights and the press box. Light work on the dugouts, but I estimate seeing that project being finished in the next 2 months.
All right, and then you still have work that's going on over there at Canigata.
Yeah, very new project. I'm thinking by August, September, we should see some real project.
All right, and if I go to coming from the west again, you got Kerwin Terrace that we're going to finish this year.
Yeah, Kerwin Terrace might be a ribbon cutting next month.
I fighting on all these things, And then Joseph Abin.
Ribbon cutting as soon as those bleachers come in. And we're just waiting for them. If we could get them in within a month, the contractor will get those bleachers up.
All right, and then Griffith Ballpark, we still got some.
Yeah, we got some work to do at Griffith.
Over
I'm looking at the end of this year for Griffith.
Alvin McBean.
By summertime, I think we should get Alvin McBean up and running.
Okay. What else am I missing?
We have
on the east side.
We do have Lionel Roberts. The finishing that facility is going to be some lighting. We should be able to finish that fairly done.
And SMUT?
SMUT, the A&E has been awarded for the contractor to do the scope of work for that facility. That's a small facility. Once we could get out, notice proceed, that should take no more than 4 to 5 months.
You sound like you got your hands full, though.
Yeah.
But all in this year, though, right?
Yeah. A lot of projects, and like I said, I have an awesome team that works with me to make sure that this is going to happen between us and ODR and DPW. I rely on those people so much. And I think once we continue to work together, we're going to see the finishing on the horizon.
Our colleague sang the song that we're outside. What is it? How many years ago now? A year now? How long we outside?
No, it's more than a year.
A little bit more.
2020?
2020, yeah. We're back outside, and now you have all these projects that we're going to get done. And thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to your ribbon cuttings, and I'm ordering a little bit more than water.
And
please.
hopefully it don't take 3 years before I'm invited back.
No, man. 1 year. 1 year from this time, we're going to be celebrating everything that you've done. Thank you again. Thank you to everyone that tuned in for this episode, where we've heard updates on the status of our territory's park projects and from the Commissioner White, and of course, the latest updates on the recovery. For more information, find us online at usviodr.com, and you can also keep the discussion going at facebook.com/WTJX. Thank you for watching. We'll continue to build a legacy of resilience.